Hello S4 student, I'm Mr. Poon. Here comes our lesson 23, which is a listening lesson. In DSC listening paper, there are two parts. Part A, listening component, and Part B1, the integrated skills. And today, we are going to talk about listening Part A. To deal with this part, we need two things. One is the skills and the other one is spelling. However, today we are not going to look into spelling. We are going to explore the skills to tackle listening part A, the listening component. Let's have a look at the first skills. The first skills is make predictions about the answers. Predictions means guesses. We have to guess the answers. But how? Through three different things. The first thing is parts of speech. Parts of speech means nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, etc. For example, like 2012 DSC listening exam task 1. The question is, can send something? Send is a verb, and after send, we know the answer should be something. And something should be a noun, which means the answer can't be a verb. The answer can't be an adjective. The answer can't be an adverb. It has to be a noun. Then the second thing is we need to make prediction through theme. In each year of the listening exam, there is a different themes. For example, in 2012, the theme is the redevelopment of a school's online services. And in 2013, the theme was changed to tourism, airport facilities and food. And in 2014, the theme was about Hong Kong's wild animals. That's why we know each year there is a different theme, a different topic for the DSC listening exam. And why it is important for us to know the theme? Because once we know the theme, we can come up with thematic vocabulary. And what is the meaning of thematic vocabulary? Vocabulary means the words, means words related to the topic, to the theme. For example, like 2015, the theme is music. So when you know the theme, you can brainstorm, you can think of, or you can make predictions about the words which may appear in the listening recordings. For example, music, when you see music, you can come up with different kinds of music. For example, we have jazz, we have classical music, we have pop music, we have rock music, we have ballad music, we have funk music, etc. So, when we know the theme, then we can brainstorm, we can make prediction about the words which may show up in the listening recordings. And then the third thing is we can make predictions through examples. For example, like 2012 DSC listening task 1, the question requires candidates to give persons and their positions at school. One example has been given for candidate. Under persons, you can see Mary. That's why for the next space, for the next blank, you know you have to fill in with a name of a person. Then next to Mary, you can see president of the SU. SU means student unions. And for our school, the student union is unique. That's why we know under president, for this blank, for this space, you need to fill in with a post, with a job, or an occupation. So this is the first skills that I introduced to you, which is make predictions, make guesses about the answers through parts of speech, theme, and examples. This is the first skills. So let's come to the second skills, which is listening for signpost language. Then you will ask, what does signpost language means? In the DSE listening exams, usually in task 3 and task 4, you will be given a list of points. Then how can the speakers give you the answer in a clear and logical manner? They will use signpost language. And in the listening paper, the most important signpost language is about the sequence. So, if you want to talk about the first point, you may use or you may listen first, thirdly, first of all, to begin with, to commence with. And I know every Form 4 students, if you have listened to your English teacher, you should know this good phrase, to commence with, which means first and foremost. After the first point, if you want to express or if you want to listen for the second point, you may hear words like second, secondly, after that, subsequently. What comes next is, then if the answer has one more point, which is the third or fourth or even fifth point, you may listen to words like thirdly, fourth, last but not least, finally, or even the last pointed. To illustrate these skills, let's have a look at the A-level past paper. This question, the 5 principles of leadership and teamwork, is from 2008 A-level listen exam. Here is the script. I know you may not have time or you may not have patience to look at the script, but I can already tell you the 5 principles. Principles means the criteria, means the standard for selecting people or a person with leadership and teamwork. The answer is obvious. The first principle is you have got to motivate your team. So the first criteria is motivation. This is the first point. Then here comes the second point. Why I know it's the second point? Because you can see the signpost words next. Next, you have got to improve efficiency through cooperations. So the next principle is to improve efficiency through cooperation. And here comes the third point. Here comes the fourth point. And here comes the last point. So you can see all the answers have been found for these questions. So the second skills that you have to bear in mind is you need to listen to signpost language when the answer requires more than one point. Okay, then we come to our last skills. Skill 3. Skill 3 is about repetition. What does that mean? Repetitions come from the verb repeat. It means if it is the answer or the idea will be repeated. You can see the definition here. If it is the answer will be repeated once more, or even twice, or even 3 times or 4 times. Let's have a look at 2016 DSE Task 1. In this question, you need to fill in the name of a video game. So I know the answer should be a noun or noun phrase. What does phrase means? Phrase means more than one word. This is for the first question. For the second question, you will see year. That's why you know the answer should be about numbers. So you can see I have already practiced the first skills with you, which is making prediction. So let's have a look at the taste script together. The father said, let's have a look. Oh, they have all kinds of video games, including a very early video game from 1958 called Tennis for Two. Then the daughter said, tennis for what? The father repeated the answer, tennis for two. So you can see tennis for two appeared the first time here. Tennis for what appeared the second time, although the answer is not complete. Then you can see the father reiterate the answer, tennis for two, the third time. That's why I note the name of the games should be tennis for two. And remember to capitalize the letter T and the letter T, because it is the name of a video game. As proper noun, a special name. Then the year, you can see a number here, 1958. How to pronounce the year? We separate the year into 2 parts. One is 19 and the other part is 58. What is the year of this year? Yes, it is 2020. Now you can say 2020 2000 because it is 2000 plus 20. Or you may just simply say 2020. Either way is correct. So let's do a quick and brief recap of the 3 listening skills we talked about in today's lesson. The first skill is make predictions about the answers through parts of speech, theme, examples. The second skill is listen to signpost language if the question requires more than 1 point. And the last skill is repetition. Remember, if it is the answer, the idea or the answer will be usually repeated once, twice, or even 3 or 4 times. Like the answer tennis for 2. It appears for 3 times. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and don't forget to finish Power Lesson 23rd. See you all. Bye bye.